and a very warm welcome to State of Business on Art Television. I'm Hishain Ali and let's have a look at the headlines first. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa assumes duties as the Minister of Finance. Country's exports surpassed the $1 billion mark after 6 months time period. News in detail. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa assumed duties at his respective portfolios today amidst the blessings of religious leaders. Thus, Premier Rajapaksa assumed duties as the Minister of Finance, Buddha-Sasana Religious and Cultural Affairs and Urban Development and Housing. Mahinda Rajapaksa assumed duties as the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka at the Temple Trees in Colombo last week for the 4th time. In the meantime, Premier Rajapaksa assumed duties at his respective ministries today. Thus, he assumed duties as the Minister of Finance of the new government at the Ministry of Finance today morning. Development of Samruddhi Home Economy, Microfinance, Self-Employment and Businesses and Underutilized State Resources State Minister Shehan Semsingha, Finance and Capital Markets and Public Enterprise Reform State Minister Ajit Niwad Kabral and Finance Ministry Secretary S.R. Artigala were also present at the event. Thereby, he also assumed duties as the Minister of Buddha-Sasana, Religious and Cultural Affairs. Moreover, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa assumed duties as Urban Development and Housing Minister today at the Minister's office on the 18th floor of the Setsiripaya Battaramulla. Newly appointed Justice Minister Ali Sabri assures that not a single effort will be taken to discredit the country's constitution or the citizens of this country. Meanwhile, assuming the duties as a secretary to the Ministry of Mass Media, Jagat P. Vijayveera said that the media outlets should be run profitably. Jagat Vijayveera, who was appointed as a secretary to the Ministry of Mass Media, assumed his duties this morning, attended by the ministry officials and the well-wishers. Addressing the gathering, new Secretary Vijayveera added that a lot of measures will be introduced for the state media as well as private media to become profitable entities. Meanwhile, newly appointed Justice Minister Ali Sabri assumed duties today at the Justice Ministry situated at the Supreme Court premises.
मेरटे ආණ්ඩුක්‍රම ව්‍යවස්ථාවට හෝ මෙරටේ ජනතාවට හෝ විරුද්ධව අබමල් රේණුවකවත් වරදක් අපෙන් කවදාවත් සිද්ධ වන්නේ නැහැ. සිද්ධ වෙනවා නම් සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ ඔවුන්ට තවදුරටත් ඒක ශක්තිමත් කිරීම සඳහා අවශ්‍ය දේවල් විතරයි කියන එක. අපි දන්නවා මේක ඉතාමත්ම බාරදූර වගකීමක් කියන එක. අප සතුව තියෙන අභියෝග අති විශාලයි. ඒ අභියෝග ජයගත යුතුයි. හැම පෑ දෙකකටම වරක්ම පොඩි දරුවෙක් අපචාරයට ලක් වෙනවා. කුඩු හොයාගත්තොත් ඔබ දකින්නට ඇති. හොයාගෙන තැනින් ඒක නැති වෙනවා. ඊයේ පෙරේද ඔබ දැක්කා කුඩු ව්‍යාපාරයේ වළක්වීම සඳහා තිබෙන නිලධාරීන් අතිනුත් යම් වැරදි වෙලා. කුඩුකාරයෝ ටික අරගෙන අපි බන්ධනාගාරයට ගත කරාම බන්ධනාගාරය ඇතුළත ජාවාරම තවත් හොඳට කරගෙන යනවා. ඒ ටික පරීක්ෂා කරන්න ඊයේ ඔබ දකින්නටි රස පරීක්ෂකවරයා වෙත යවුවම එතනත් ජාවාරමක්. මේවා තමයි අභියෝග. මේවෙන් අපි මිදෙන්නට ඕන.
As a measure to develop the local shrimp industry of the country, Board of Investment of Sri Lanka signs a $1.8 million agreement to convert the Waname Shrimp Project in Puttlam to state-of-the-art technology. The Board of Investment signed an agreement with HTC Aqua Culture Limited for a 12 million post larvae capacity shrimp farm in Puttlam. HTC Aquaculture is a member of the HTC Group, which also includes HTC Agriculture and Livestock and HTC Leisure, a local destination management company. The agreement was signed on behalf of the BOI by its chairman Susantha Ratnayaka and on behalf of the HTC Aquaculture by its managing director Mansoor Hussain and chief executive officer Sitara Hafeel. The project, with an initial investment of $1.8 million, envisages the conversion of an existing shrimp farm on a 16-acre land using state-of-the-art technology in shrimp culture and management. This includes the usage of high-density circular ponds, methods for higher productivity per footprint per cycle, efficient energy usage and responsible water management. HTC Aquaculture Limited's Managing Director Hussain explained that the company has secured a further 37 acres of land earmarked for the second phase of this project, which will involve inland farming of Waname, a first of its kind in Sri Lanka. Stay tuned for more news right after this commercial break. Welcome back after the break. The Central Bank of Sri Lanka, releasing the external sector report for the June this year, states that the trade deficit has narrowed in June 2020 to $161 million from $316 million in June 2019, recording the lowest monthly deficit after nearly 11 years. Accordingly, on a cumulative basis, the trade deficit narrowed by $335 million to $3,262 million during the first 6 months of 2020 from $3,597 million in the corresponding period of 2019. Meanwhile, in terms of trade, the ratio of the prices of export to the price of imports declined by 7.3% year-on-year in June 2020, with prices of exports declining at a faster pace than those of imports. However, as no tourist arrivals was recorded for the third consecutive month in June 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic, cumulative tourist arrivals remained at 507,311 during the first 6 months of 2020 compared to 1,08,449 arrivals recorded during the corresponding period in 2019. Accordingly, cumulative earnings from tourism, which are estimated based on tourist arrivals, remained at $956 million during the first 6 months of 2020, recording a drop of 49.7% from the corresponding period of 2019. Meanwhile, workers' remittances have recorded a growth of 6.7% in June 2020 year-on-year to $572 million, mainly due to the festival allowances received by the migrant workers in the Middle East. However, workers' remittances recorded a decline of 8.9% to $2,980 million during the first 6 months of 2020 in comparison to the corresponding period of 2019. Thus, the CBSL statement notes that a net outflow of foreign investment amounting to $38 million was recorded from the rupee-denominated government securities market in June 2020, resulting in a cumulative net outflow of $492 million during the first half of 2020. The total outstanding exposure of foreign investment in the government securities market remained insignificant at $88 million by end of June 2020. There were net outflows of $46 million from the secondary market of the CSE in June 2020. On a cumulative basis, the CSE recorded a net outflow of $111 million in the first half of 2020. Further, net inflows on account of long-term loans to the government amounted to $34 million in June 2020. Thereby, gross official reserves stood at $6.7 billion at end of June 2020, equivalent to 4.5 months of imports. The Export Development Board states that Sri Lanka exports have surpassed the $1 billion mark in July this year after 6 months' time period, whereas similar achievement was only recorded in January during this year. As per the customs statistics, earnings from the merchandise exports recorded double-digit growth rate of 11.31% in July 2020 to $1,090.18 million compared to July 2019. Moreover, earnings from merchandise exports in July 2020 increased by 20.3% compared with the value recorded in June 2020. Export earnings from tea in July 2020, which made up 12% of merchandise exports, increased by 17.63% year-on-year, changing to $130.93 million, and the export volume was also increased by 11.24% in July 2020 compared to July 2019. Earnings from exports of apparel and textiles and rubber-based products grew significantly during the month of July 2020 owing to higher demand for personal protective equipment such as face masks, protective suits, surgical gloves and PPE-related exports have recorded $115.1 million in July 2020. Moreover, the EDB states that the top 5 export destinations during the period of January to July 2020 were United States of America, United Kingdom, India, Germany and Italy. The services exports estimated by EDB, which includes ICT, BPM construction, financial services, transport and logistics, and wellness tourism, show exports of $2,044.6 million for the period of January to July 2020 compared to $2,364.7 million recorded in the corresponding period of the previous year. However, estimated service exports declined by 13.53% during the period of January to July 2020 compared with the corresponding period of the previous year. Stay tuned for stock updates. Welcome back after the break. The trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a negative note today. The all-share price index dropped 10.38 points to close at 5,251.61 and the S&P SL 20 dropped 3.11 points to close at 2,316.99. The turnover was 1.6 billion rupees and over 87 million shares were traded. Up next are Forex rates. And that's all news for today. See you tomorrow with State of Business at 7:45 p.m. Until then, take care and good night.